be undertaking a 140 swap on a Honda Dax clone. We're hoping to get most of it done as quickly as possible. The engine we purchased from eBay, so we're hoping it should go straight forward and we should have all the right parts. We're going to start it up, run the float bowl, dry fuel, so we ain't got to mess about with the fuel and stuff when it's leaking when we're changing the parts over. So I've got the fuel tap turned off. Prior started it, so it should be warm. So I'm going to let it warm to temperature, run all the fuel out of the car. Also recover, comparing to the one that sounds like different to the 140. This engine is actually a 110, so it started life as a 50, but the engine swap was done when I bought it. I'm quite porky, so we could do with a bit more power now. So my mate's having this engine, and we're going to be swapping in a brand new 140 engine, which is in the box over here. I got a little bit impatient and already unboxed it, well, opened it, but all the parts are in there. We're a company called Parker Racing. We'll wait until the bike runs out of fuel, and then we'll start going through the engine part. The Parker Racing engine we purchased wasn't the cheapest, but it by far wasn't, it was the best value on the market, should I say. Comes quick with a Z40 cam, 140 engine. Apparently it's got some sort of upgraded oil pump and some other parts in it. Should have double valve springs as well. Hoping for about 14 horsepower. This bike's been dynoed, believe it or not, it's 7 horsepower at the wheel, or 6.9 if you want to split hairs. So we're hoping for double the power. Hopefully we should have some good fun with it. So we'll give it a little test now, see. It's quite dialed in, this bike already, so I absolutely love it. It came back from Wales. We did 400 miles to Snowdonia on this bike with a few of our friends, and it's literally got parked up since. It hasn't been cleaned, so it's still a bit filthy and grotty. So probably once we put the engine in, it's due a good clean. So right, let's get cracking on with this then. That should have run clean of fuel now. So just let it idle for 10 minutes. I hope I've turned the fuel on. I have. Right, so this is the engine was purchased off eBay. Like I said, it came from an eBay shop on eBay. What we've got in the contents of it is a whole load of buff that says about running in periods, voiding the warranty. It does say that it doesn't come with oil. It's a shipping oil. And Butylene DX4 should be used, which we should have some here. We do have some oil. Yeah, there we are, there's our oil. So we're going to fit that in as recommended. It says 2 hours of running in period required, then another change of oil, which seems, pretty reasonable. So we're going to open up the thing and see what we've got in here. So it's from a company called Parker Racing. I've never used them before. Never got really massively familiar with their product, but it seems quite good. This engine hasn't got a lighting stator in it, it's for running only, so we're going to be chopping the stator out of our old unit while taking it out and putting it back into this unit. I'm pretty certain all the parts will cross over quite well, so we should be okay. But like I say, this is a brand new box engine, 0 miles, brand new. Parker Racing written on the side, it all looks official, doesn't it? So it has got a lightweight generator flywheel on it. Obviously we'll probably pick up revs a little bit better, but this unit's no good to us because we're going to be needing the lighting stator because our bike's a road bike, obviously, it's got to be street legal. It's actually got quite a big front sprocket on it, a 16th tooth, so I can't remember what gearing is on my old engine, but we'll put the tallest gearing out of the lot. It's a 140cc cylinder. You normally tell with these, if they've got a bolt-on cap on the top of the engine, they've normally got a higher lifter valve, or a valve that travels a bit further, and it should have double valve springs in it as well. But then, like I said, this engine will come with shipping oil in it, so the engine oil that's in it's not made to be ran on, so that's going to be emptied out, but we'll wait until we've got it in the bike before we do that. As comparison size-wise, there's no real difference in the main size of the motor. It's basically the same unit that's in it, probably with just a bigger stroke and a bigger piston. Right, so I'm going to give you a little bit of info on the bike. The bike is a Jing Cheng model. It's a DAX clone or copy or whatever you want to call it. I purchased this pretty much modified as is. It's got a couple of nice bits on it already. It had a swing arm, it's got a genuine Honda cover, some Owen shocks, some good tyres on it. It's got a set of bar risers on it, BMX bars off some sort of, you know, bicycle. But it's a good little bit of kit. I enjoy riding it. And I mean, these things are relatively cheap, so you don't mind roughing them up a little bit. We went to Mid Wales in Snowdonia on this, doing 400 miles with a whole load of other lunatics on them. For half the price of, like, you know, a genuine one, you can't go wrong with one of these. And we used to be really into monkey bikes, but, well, technically it is a monkey bike, but not the per se monkey. They do a challenge, which is a step through in it, then the DAX style, which are all like press body panels, and the monkeys are normally traditionally a tube frame. I'm a little bit too big for a monkey now. I find it a bit more comfortable doing a bit more mileage on this. So yeah, that's pretty much the ins and outs. It's got an exhaust on it, and it's got a Mikuni carb. It's got a Takigawa inlet manifold, and that's about it really. I mean, it's got supporting mods. There's cheap Chinese CDI pack in it. We had it on the dyno at an event once, and it made 7 horsepower, which, you know, doesn't sound a lot, but considering, you know, what these are, you know, they only weigh about 60, 70 kilos, they go okay. We're going to pull the motor out, and any other information that, you know, we can find useful, you know, like stock thingy, like pulling off the flywheel, we've got a special tool for that, and we'll show you that. Well, let's get on and get this done. This engine's been a good engine, but it's developed a bit of an oil leak, and you can see it in the case there. You come up underneath the generator and stuff. It looks to me like it's leaking out in the back of the stator. There's normally a low ring in there, and I think where you filming the ceiling? We're all right now. Okay, right. It's developed a bit of an oil leak. I think it's coming from the stator, because what happens is people buy these just as this engine came without the lighting stator in, and I think the gentleman that changed this has nicked the O-ring seal for the stator. So when we take it off, we'll check the condition of that. We should have a new one, but I've got to make sure this engine's okay, because this is going in my friend's bike, which is behind us, which is probably going to get done today as well. So if we get time, we'll change 2 motors. 2 engines, depending on where you're from in the country or world or wherever else. So we're going to sort this oil leak out, because it's going in my mate Steph's bike, which is up on the bench behind us.
Lovely bike.
So, right, I'm going to start with pulling the carb off. We'll pull it off all in one unit, because this carb's going to go on, so there's no point in stripping it all down its finger. Just 2 bolts here, we'll take it, we'll hook it over the top. So let's carry on with that. So we can just pull this inlet manifold straight off, all in one bit, have to disconnect the fuel. We did run it out of fuel, so this carb shouldn't be, you know, in everywhere, or, you know, the hazard of fuel everywhere. A big 4-poster ramp for a 5-ton truck or, you know, bigger vehicle is a bit overkill for a small bike like this, but cheers, guys. Size of the bore index and that, so we can just take this off all in one go. Probably going to take the fuel line off, to be fair, and then hook it up over there. That's that off. There's the fuel that we didn't drain. It's alright. And we're just going to keep methodically going through. I mean, one of the engines of swapping one of these can be done in about 15-20 minutes if you've got everything to hand. I mean, the biggest ball ache, if anything, is that the stand is holding to the engine. So as soon as you unbolt the engine, the bike's just like loosely flapping around, and we've got nowhere to hold it. So normally you'd have like a clamp the front wheels, or, you know, something that will hold the bike upright. But unfortunately, we don't have the benefit of that. So as soon as we get the engine and bolted, the bike then becomes loose, and we'll put it, lay it down, or put it up somewhere. or we'll just throw the new engine in with the new stand on it. So let's get the cable off, then there's exhausts to come off. Like I say, most of this stuff is should just fly off. I did notice that the clutch cable was in a different position to the new engine. For some reason, the one on this one comes down the front of the motor, and then on that one it's laying on top. So I'm hoping there's going to be enough length for the clutch cable to work. If not, that's another ordeal. I'll deal with it when I get there. But I did have a glance, and it looks okay, so we should be alright. 2-minute job on everything. I was going to try and disconnect the wiring for the stator, but what we're going to do is we're just get an impact driver, pull the flywheel off. There's a special flywheel puller somewhere in the box. Pull that off. The whole stator will come off all together in one. We'll just hang that to the side, and when we build the motor, like I said, we've got to check that ceiling there because it looks like it's leaking. So, quickly take chain off, just bolt the sprocket. So, quite simple. Set of basic tools. You can change one of these at the side of the road if you needed to. That's that done. As quick as that. I will be unbolting the, like I said, the stand. But I'm going to get the exhaust off, so it means me flipping round to the other side now and getting the whole exhaust system off.
You motherfucking bastard!
I think this is a genuine, looks like a genuine Honda kickstart. So it looks like a genuine Honda kickstart. It looks like a Honda Cub one to me, but I mean, definitely looks old enough. I mean, it's got a bit of lacquer for chrome flaking on it. I'm going to keep that because it clears the exhaust. I mean, there were kickstart and a gear selector and a few other components came with the engine, along with an inlet manifold, which I won't be using. But Steph will probably steal them, won't you, Steph?
Yeah, probably.
So. So that's got to go on the new engine. Ooh. Looks like I am stealing the thing, Steph. My gold dipstick. You're not having that. That can go on my new engine. We'll get that out when it comes out. So. Right, this pesky clutch piece. I need a screwdriver. This is that part where you know, when you see like a blind person crossing the road and you feel sad for it. What? It wasn't that bad. But it is, it's like where you try to do your best to try and help somebody out, but like no matter what you do, it's like
Not good enough.
no, it's just like really, yeah. What I'm trying to do is get this cable out. Every time I push down on it, I think it's because the cable's so tight. I think we'll just take it off at the top. Look at that. Oh, that was more work than it needed to be. Woo!
And we're out.
And we're out. It's got like a racing red spark plug in it, so you know it means business.
It's got a red nipple.
Well, no, it's red, so you know it's racing, basically.
Okay, so you just painted it red, yeah?
No, it comes red, direct from China.
Red spark
I
plug
think it's
directly from China.
I think it's actually got a twin spark terminal on the end of
Oh,
it.
you better put that in the new engine if it's got a twin point on it.
I think it does. So
That's how it fits.
I think we're ready to pull the generator off. So we'll flip it round again. We'll put the tool on and pull the generator off. Okay, so I'm ready for the switch. Whoa! You on?
I'm good.
So, where's that little impact driver? Hopefully this little impact driver is going to be able to pull that flywheel off, but I ain't holding my breath.
Don't do that then.
I think it's 14. Yay, ready? Fail. Let's go get the bigger one.
Time to get Big Bertha out, yeah?
Well, it's actually not mine, so we're going to steal it from someone else's toolbox.
I'm going to steal it from somebody else's toolbox. Video evidence of you stealing tools from somebody else's toolbox.
Nothing was taken, nothing was used.
Nothing was used. Whose is that one?
It's Justin's.
Thank you, Justin.
Or it might be Terry's.
Or Terry.
Look at that.
That's straight out.
Well, that's the difference between like 500 quid and 50 quid. Let's take the ramp up a little bit. In my magic bag, I do have a stator pulling tool. Many years ago, we used to whale on these things with an hammer. With an hammer. You know, I said hammer. And it's left-handed thread, because I was demonstrating it goes the wrong way first. And then you screw that in, and you should be able to get this off. I might need a spanner and something else. I did have a 21 out. Left-handed thread. That's it, it's gone. Pull the generator straight off. Best bit of kit you can get these. They're cheap as well. I think about 12, 15 quid. This one, I think we borrowed off somebody. So that's that. And then we've got the generator and stator unit itself. So to empty this out, there's just two screws, one at the top, one at the bottom. Sometimes you might need to take an impact driver to knock them out. So let's try with a big screw bit first. And people remember there is oil behind that unit, so when we open this up, it may start pissing out. When I find the correct screwdriver. I don't own any Phillips screwdrivers. So, that is a complete fail, so I need to go to my big toolbox and go get my impact driver. The impact driver, basically you whale on that with a hammer and it will undo that, but make sure we put a fatter bit in because that one's a bit poo. So, right, we've got the fella now. Let's go get the world's biggest hammer and usable for the job. Ow! Oh, there we go. getting whacked in the head. Believe it or not, people put tennis balls on the end of the handlebars like that to stop you from whacking your head or hurting yourself. So that's both of them done. That was maximum effort. And that's both of them out. Scene. Inside the 140 engine, there's a little blanking plug in here. So we pull that little plug out, and then inside there's like a little tumbler. We're screwing it. We take that out, and that's basically got like a, I'm trying to explain, like a tumbler, like a gear set that runs through the gear assembly. So basically that will tell you when you're in neutral. If you come over to our other engine, we've got one of these fellas mounted here inside the inside this engine. So we're gonna have to take this out, take out all the gubbins and all whatnot inside, and then fit them into the 140 engine. So obviously with the neutral light, the bracket and all the assembly is all in the exact same place, so it shouldn't be an issue. So we have done this once before. We've done this on a mate's bike. Mick's got one of these as well, my mate Mick. So we've done that tumbler swap before in a 125 with a big valve head, and that seems to work fine. So we've got to get some sort of catch the oil, pull this tumbler out, and all this wiring and gubbins will all just literally swing over to one side. It'll all be completely separate from the motor. Then that new motor can go in and we'll build it all up. But obviously we've got to check this O-ring on the stator. The engine that's in Steph's will be robbing the stator from that as well, so he'll have to put his 50 stator into this engine, which will all cross over. It'll all be fine. We've done it before, but we'll have to hope that his O-ring seal's in better condition than this one, because this one is leaking oil. So let's go get an oil container. Like I said, I was 10 minutes ago. With all this, as I said, per se, oil's coming out. That's pretty dark, to be fair. I can't remember the last time I changed that oil, to be honest. So, but this motor's probably got less than 1,000 miles on it. The guy I bought it off had said he just put the engine in because the engine he had in it had chipped a tooth, so it was jumping out of gear. So this engine was fresh from then. Let me go get some pliers. He said the engine was brand new, and he just put it in, and he gave me the box like that one with the knackered engine in. So that now will all just be its own entity and slide over there. I did have a rag with me, but I've come unprepared. If you look here, look, you can see the problem with our oil leak. A little chipped bit of O-ring, look, see it? So that's where the oil leak's coming from. So we'll have to rob another oil seal off Steph's engine, because that's where the oil leak's coming from. So that's handy to know that there's nothing wrong with it. So I'm going to zip tie this up out of the way, just so, you know, it ain't in our business. And then it's going to be 1, 2, and then the motor's out. I've got to then take this, like I said, the ball ache of taking this off, because once you take this off, you've got no way of supporting the bike. So this may cause for 2 hands, or 4 hands, even. So, right. Leave that drop in oil a little bit, and then we'll carry on and we'll pull the motor out. Right, we've got the motor in, or the engine, or whatever you want to call it again. Few issues. We thought we were just going to bolt it straight in. Turned out to be a right ball ache. Wow. We had to take a notch out of the side of the frame on this side. Basically, the part of the frame here, right where it catches the end of this, the outer casing here, was just found it and we couldn't get the bolt to line up. Then when we tried to get the back bolt in, the breather hose was so fat it fouled against the swing arm. So we had to shorten that as well. So we've shortened the hose on the back of the breather so it doesn't fall all the way out. Shouldn't be an issue. The new stator, new seal, and everything else in. Another word of wisdom is don't over tight the ring inside there for your neutral light, because what I'll do is that'll lock the gearbox up. So make sure you get that, you know, just right, the tightness just right on that, or else it's going to be causing a problem. Next problem now we're going to be putting the inlet manifold on. We're going to be changing to my bigger sprocket, but we've got to put oil in it, obviously, and then we should be ready to fire up. So another couple of minutes and we won't be far away from our first start. See the size difference in the sprockets there. Obviously one's slightly bigger than the other. One will actually clearly say 420, that's the gauge of the chain, that's how the sizing of the chain, and then 16T being the tooth. This is a 420 17 tooth. So this is the bad boy we want. So I'll slot that filler on. I mean, people gear them down so they wheelie better and stuff, but to be honest, with a bike this size, and it's being a road bike, you're going to be open up most of the time anyway. So you're going to be above 40, 50 mile an hour anyway. Well, I am anyway, so. Gearing plays a big issue. You can change a lot in the characteristics and the power of the vehicle, the power of the bike, just by changing your sprockets. You know, I've rode bikes and people just drop the engine in and the sprockets on them are awful. I mean, they'd be like a 13 here and a 40 on the back. And like, the first 3 gears are pointless. So, I don't know, I like a nice tall gearing on a bike, and then use the gearing to quick finger. You watch carefully. I should have put the chain on. First. Save myself a job. And do the link or pull the back wheel back. I'll show you the sneaky way of trying to get this back off. There we go. Put the chain in first, and hopefully we should be, look at that. The motor itself is further away, so I'm going to have to undo the back wheel anyway. We'll cut that and I'll undo the back wheel. What a pain in the arse. Also, another thing we had to do was the foot pegs wouldn't go underneath the motor because of the curve on the casing on the other side. They wouldn't clear, so we had to stack some washers underneath the base of the pegs so that we could get the clearance so that it'd clear the other side. It's going to be 17 inches. 17. That's tight. Calls for a fucking cool. For a longer one. Oh, that was tight.
We knew it weren't going to fall off.
Yeah. I'm really tight with things. There we go. A little bit of slack in the back wheel. I'll take the sprocket off for the 17th time. But we're just going to get there. I'll pull it off the back, put the front on, drop the back wheel in. See if I can just roll it back slightly, see if I can get that chain on. There we go. Saying that, looking at it now, there may be room for that 17 toother. So, it's going to be close. Let's have a go. Look at that. We're going to get that baby on. And then line it up right. Look at that. So there was enough room for that bigger sprocket in the end. Bit misleading that wheel, but it is set all the way back now. So maybe we just cut that stuff so it's just one piece and not putting a sprocket on for 17 times.
Maybe, maybe not.
Maybe not.
We shall see, shan't we?
When fitting a chain, you should always put the link facing the way of rotation. I've seen some clowns, they put it on backwards, so they'll put it with the fork piece of the link facing out. As soon as you get like any dirt or debris or it gets caught on any long grass, even on a pit bike, you pulls that link straight off and your chain will fall off. Best thing to do is always get a quality chain. I mean, they're cheap anyway. I mean, a chain like that's probably like 25 quid, and that's a DID, you know, not an O-ring chain, but it's a good quality chain. And if a chain comes off, the chain will fall out and just go straight through the side case. See it all the time on pit bikes and everything else. And just then the chain will break off, it'll loop back on itself and just fire itself through the casing. Then your engine's scrap, or at least your stator plate's scrap anyway. So it's important for, you know, 10, 20 quid here ain't a big deal when you ain't replacing an engine. So, right, we'll just slot that in quickly for now. We'll leave the back wheel loose because we'll set that all up in a bit. Let's get the engine cover on. We should have a nice genuine Honda one here. I've been using it as a storage for bits, so then going there, I'm going to clean all this oil off it and stuff because that's not nice. Just a quick swill out, get all that oil out. There is a new gasket that came with the engine, it's here, so we'll use that. You can see from the engine casing that the gasket supplied doesn't fit our case. One in. Felt a bit short. Might be out somewhere else. That's the one. It seems to be that whenever you're putting bolts in side cases, every single one's a different size. See, it's only going to take 2 bolts. Fine for now. All we have to go back to the other style one. That's okay, that needs a good wipe though. With a clean rag, not the one I've just been using, so. Get a clean rag. They're not a complete animal. But it seems that this model of engine hasn't got the hole behind it for this bolt. So that's the problem that have just occurred to me. There is a hole, but it's here. I don't think it's going to affect it in any way, but it's kind of annoying. I'll probably end up cutting it off and gluing it in there, just so it doesn't got a hole in it, because that'll really annoy me. But that's that on. The gear selector is going to be the exact same one I had on my 110. I don't know, I'm just sort of used to that. It did come with another one, which was slightly longer and had a flip rhubarb on it for falling off. But I like the look of this one, so I'm going to put this one back on. All the gears are up, so in this motor, all the gears down are normally 1 down, 4 up in a normal bike, but on this model, neutral's all the way down, all the rest of the gears are up. So pit bikes seem to have, and monkey bikes and all these series of engines all seem to have all different sort of gear shift patterns. Some will be all down, some will be all up, one will be 1 down, 4 up. It just, some of them even, the ones that come in like the quad bikes and stuff, will have a reverse. You'll have 3 gears and then all the way down will be reverse. But this version is neutral, all the way down, all the gears up, which doesn't really bother me. So, right, some tools. You know, you can never find a tool you just have in your hand. There it is. So just get that. space in for now. So the next job is going to be putting the carb on. Be quite a simple affair this. So that's all in, it all lines up perfectly. It's got a nice, looks like it's been ported inside here. You see like some sort of machine work's been took place. Looks like they've either cut it or thingy. Doesn't look bad quality at all, but it's quite interesting. So that's going to go on there. We're going to find our 2 bolts for that fella, which are in here. 2 Allen key bolts. Got a brand new gasket, so get that open. That one's going to be a carbon because you can see the spacing's different. That's the inlet. So let's get that fella down. No need for any RTV or any silicone or stuff like that. These gaskets, the engine will end up eating the silicone. I mean, if you last resort and you ain't got a gasket, yeah, it's better than nothing. But in all fairness, you really want to be using the right stuff for the job. So it's like so easy. It's going to be, we're not far away from starting this thing. We've got to drain the old shipping oil out and put some new oil in, which shouldn't take too long at all. Curious to see if it actually sounds any different. To be fair, it echoes quite bad in here, and we did fire it up beforehand. So hopefully it might sound different, it might have a lumpier idle with the cam, or does it rev higher? And it does state in the buff with the engine not to rev it past half throttle while braking it in. So we won't be, sending it, but we will give it a blip. Make sure it revs fine and clean. We might have to mess about with the carb and the jetting. This carb is really over fueling that other engine, so we might find it works better on this engine, but we can deal with that when it comes down to setting up and everything else. But for now, it should be pretty close. I mean, I think I did lift the needle in this carb. We messed about with it anyway, and it is a proper Mikuni racing engine. Actually got racing use only written on the side of it, which seems a bit ambitious, but that's how it came. Right, let's get some oil in and fire it up. The drain this shipping oil or whatever the is in it. It looks like tartar. Honestly, oh, it's so thick. But I don't know if you can pick that up on the camera, but it is literally like so thick. Don't smell bad. In all fairness, I can see why you do 200 miles and then flush all that garbage out, because from the price of the engines, I mean, they're good value, but I suspect you're not going to get the highest quality of oil in it. And let's be fair, oil's the main reason it keeps moving. I mean, when you're buying oil for one of these, I mean, you're talking, I think it's 700 millilitres, like a litre bottle, so even if it costs you 22 quid, it's worth buying it. It's not like you're going like a big motor vehicle where you're buying like 5-6 litres full of it. That has taken all of my life to drain out. Forever. Well, while that's draining, I'm going to try and get that clutch cable on and see what's going on with that. Looks like I'm going to have to back this cable all the way off, but I'm hoping that this cable is able to be used. Where did I put that other You can never find a 10mm when you need one. So, looks like it's been adjusted all the way out, so I'm going to adjust it all the way in and see if that gives me enough cable. I've disconnected the handlebars already, so hope this thing reaches. So, from the other engine it was in a different place. So, you see from the other motor the clutch lever and assembly was on the side of the engine, now it's on the top. So, I'm hoping that this cable's going to reach, which from the looks of it in my eye, I'm going to say no. So, I'm going to need another clutch cable. But that won't stop us from firing it up, but it will stop us from riding it. So, I mean, I've backed that all the way off. We're going to need a longer clutch cable. It's easy as. I mean, obviously they're going to be like for a pit bike. There's no point trying to modify this bracket and end up chopping it up, because it'll just end up looking awful. And, I mean, I could cut it and weld it. I mean, I probably could chop this bracket off, pull it back to here, but the cable itself ain't long enough anyway and be at full reach. So it looks like I'm shopping for a clutch cable now. I'm going to leave the original spark plug in it, and I think we'll just address that. I'll get a cable on, a clutch cable on ordering. It's no problem. I mean, we've got a supplier here local in town that do pit bike stuff and stuff, so we can address that later on. Bit of a bummer, but like I said, with the kickstart as well, the spine bore is completely different from the 110, so we can't use this, which I believe is a genuine Honda Cub or some sort of genuine Honda kickstart. But the exhaust will run up and underneath here, so the straight kickstart might foul it. So we're gonna get this fired up, and then we're gonna do your one.
That's just going to clear your exhaust.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that! You don't need to get another kickstart. You just need to get a
Clutch cable.
Clutch cable, which is a shame.
All right. So take this one off.
Here is the moment.
We haven't checked the spark. We've had the fuel on for 10 minutes, so. I doubt it's going to go first kick. Plus, there's an active kick in it, so.
Well, we shall see.
Ready?
Yeah, it's been recording, so.
Okay, so, right, we've got the engine fitted. Obviously, I've got no clutch cable, but the kickstart did fit, and it does clear the exhaust. It's very tight, as everything else. Another procedure with these is you're meant to TDC it. I'll drop dead centre and then jump whale on it. A lot of people break kickstart shafts and stuff, so because they've got so much more compression. So hopefully I'm gonna fire it on the first kick, but most likely I'm gonna fail and either break my shin because there's kickstart. So just Jesus, that has got some compression. So it's one kick, knock it down. Wish I was wearing work boots now. Nope. I've got it on, Yep. Okay. Oh, we had a fire.
We had a bit of a fire then.
I can't believe how much harder it is to kick. Oh, God. The sole of my foot is killing.
Is it that tough?
It's that tight, honestly. It's got that much compression. I'm having to kick it with the heel of my foot. I did hear it cough and splutter. Maybe a bit of choke, maybe. We don't know how the jetting is set up on this car, so. There we go. Never normally wants a bit of choke, but. road oil spillage going up on the head. Yeah, front cable needs rerouting. Sounds like it wants a little bit more fuel. But there we go. I think it should run out of fuel. Have I got the reserve? Have we got it set on reserve or on? Maybe pull the choke out. I think that carb wants lifting up a bit. Oh, fuck me, that's hard. Definitely needs more fuel in that carb if it wants jetting up or trying to put the choke on. Does sound nice though. It's going to need jetting correctly. I mean, the carb obviously isn't giving it enough fuel, so I'll have a look, see if we can adjust the needle a bit. And if not, it's probably going to need a bigger jetting carb or another bigger carb maybe. I thought that was going to be plenty of carb for this engine, but it clearly isn't, so that's something we're going to look at. Right, let's have a go at it. Now, after a little bit of twiddling with the carb, turned out it was low on fuel, so messed about with that. And it's idling now, seems to run really well, and it sounds amazing. It sounds completely different to what I did before. I mean, the response is amazing. It's like, it picks up so well. I mean, compared to the engine, it just feels like, that's just half throttle. I mean, it's instant. I mean, it sounds amazing. I mean, I really want to ring on it, but